Hello and welcome to another random review and how-to. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install the Hampton Bay fan up into your light. So this room I'm in, it's my daughter's. It gets a little bit warm here on our second floor. So these Hampton Bays are actually really nice. This is $69. I'm going to put a link down below to buy this on Amazon. I got this one actually on Home Depot, but if you buy from Amazon, it helps us, helps you. Also, if you hit that subscribe button, it helps us. Hampton Bay fans, I already installed one, so I kind of know what I'm doing on this one. I'm going to tell you, there's steps you're going to want to follow. If you're not a big user of instructions, which I'm not, you're going to definitely want to look at some of the instructions. And there's a reason for that. It's because if you don't get everything kind of put together the right way, you miss a part where you wire it in and you don't have all the parts and pieces in place, it can really screw with you. So make sure you're reading the directions. That's the first thing. I'm going to show you everything that comes in this box and then just kind of show you how it gets assembled up in here. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you turn off the electric to your room. You can just rely on the switch, but you don't want to do that completely because you want to make sure that your power is cut from up there. So let's go ahead and see what's in the box. So right here in the box, first things we got here is our use and care. Those are also your instructions. It comes with your 5 sealing blades. These are actually reversible, so you can see on the back side we got the light colored wood, and then on this side we got the dark colored. What I also like about these, and this is newer than the last time I put fans, and they actually have these little snap grids. So once you get your ceiling fan mounted, you actually put these into place and they snap in, where we used to have to actually screw them. So that's actually nice too that you have that little feature here. I should mention, this is the Rothley II. It's a 52-inch LED indoor ceiling fan. It has the bronze finish. It also comes in a brushed nickel finish, as you can see right there. So there's different brands based on what you're getting. This is the Rothley II. Like I said, it's $69. So right in here, this is kind of like the base that's going to go right against your ceiling. And this actually has in it the ceiling mount as well. So this part comes out. Be nice if I had 2 hands. This part actually comes out. You're going to unscrew it just using these 2 screws on the side. And then this part will mount into the ceiling. You'll run your wires down through here. And then this sits flush against the ceiling. In here, you have your little bag that gives you some wire nuts, and then your pull down drawstrings there to get the fan going. So everything's in there. There's also a little clip in here that's used to actually clip in the base of the fan to the pole that comes down from the ceiling. Comes with 2 LED lights. Over here we have these are some of the brackets for the fans, and as I mentioned, you can kind of see these snap in. So the part on the fan goes right into these 2 things here, and then it has this little trigger here, which is really nice, you can see. So that actually snaps in and holds the fan in place. So you got 4 of these, 2 come on the top on that side, and then the other 3 are right in here. So I'm going to go and unwrap all those. Over here, this is the little extender, and I'm almost positive on this brand and this model you have to use this extender. I know some fans come with a bigger extender, but this one has this, and you can see you have your ground wire in there as well. And then this whole piece comes off, and then inside of this part is our light adapter. So you can see that's the mount for the lights. And then underneath here, we actually have our base for the fan. And then you have your light cover. Now, $69, typically this would be glass. This is actually just plastic, so it's just a thicker plastic here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the fan unpacked here. I'm going to take this. This is an LED light we originally put in when we moved in the house. So I'm going to take this off and reuse it somewhere else. Just want to mention, the only tools that you're going to need for this is a Phillips screwdriver. You don't necessarily need a flathead, but there's a few screws in here that I liked using the flathead for on my previous fan I just put in. And then electrical tape. I always use electrical tape when I'm doing my wire nuts and wires. It's an optional thing. I don't think it's the code anymore, so you don't have to worry as much about that, but I use electrical tape on everything. I really like to lay all of my pieces out before I go, so I take everything apart. I kind of look at all my wiring, make sure I don't see anything that's just sticking out. They're like, oh man, that shouldn't be that way, or there's a wire cut or anything like that. So I kind of lay all my pieces out just so I know where everything's at. I got all my wire nuts here up on top of my ladder. Like I said, I got this little bar that's going to go in there to secure it, and there's the little end hook for it as well. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, because we're going to be putting this plate up there first, is unscrew these screws. Now, I don't take all 4 out. I only take the 2 that go in all the way. So I loosen those up, Then you can just unscrew those by hand, and then you can see this part twists, and then it pops right out. So this is the first part that's going to go in. We're going to wire our ground wire in there, and we're going to put this up against the ceiling this way. So I keep these screws in here because once I get everything assembled, I don't want to just monkey around with putting 4 screws back in. I just keep those 2 in there because I'm going to twist it on. So let's go ahead and start to get all of this mounted up top. Here I got my mount in nice and tight. Main screw. Now this actually doesn't come with any screws to screw up here. So if you don't already have them in pre-existing, you're going to need to get some long screws to go ahead and put that into the insert up there. So I got both of those on, and then I pulled all of my wires here through this center circle up here in the middle. So I got my ground hanging down. I'm actually going to ground that in with this one to the bottom piece that has a ground. Got my hot wire, my white wire. So the next part, as I mentioned, you want to make sure that you got all of your pieces and you're following the instructions, because on the main piece there, you got these long wires that come through. Now you can cut these and resplice them if you want to. I actually just use them because you could wrap them around the top, but these have to go through everything. So these go up through this piece and they go up through this. So this piece actually has to go on in the main wiring that you do, because this is the piece I always forget to put on, and then you can't go back and do it again. So all of this goes up through there, and the wires are long enough too that I could actually set them on top of my ladder. So from there down, I have enough wire to do that. So I like to do that. If you're doing it by yourself, that's key. So just make sure you look at the directions and you understand that these 3 pieces all kind of wire together. So they all go up in there. Here is a look at that wiring setup. So we got them going through there. This piece is going to go on first. Just let it rest down here. And then I keep this piece loose because I got to pull this all the way up to the ceiling while this is sitting on my ladder. What you'll notice is there's a hole that goes through here. Kind of see it right there. That's where that peg's going to go that I have. So this piece comes up last, then you put that peg through and it holds everything in place. So you can assemble this on the ground if you're going to have 2 people working on it and then just lift the whole unit up. But because I'm a one-man band here, this is exactly the way the wiring needs to go to start. Last thing I would recommend doing before you put this up is loosening all your screws on this piece. That way you're not screwing with that once you have it up in the air. So there's 2 screws on the back here. You're going to loosen. Those are going to clamp in to this bar once it's in. And then the other thing is they put these little rubber stops in here for transportation purposes so that this isn't spinning the whole time. So these just come out real simple here. This is where I use my flathead to kind of grip. And it's probably a 2-hand job, but try to do it with 1. Just loosen these up. Doesn't take much. And then these little rubber stops come out. So once those are out, then this is where these brackets actually go in. And you could actually do that part while you're on the ground. It's a little easier than working above your head. So these pieces actually fit in here once you have all these out. So I would recommend actually doing that entire part while you're on the ground. That way you're not lifting up over your head. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All 5 of these are on, so those are ready to go. Just makes it a little easier, again, not lifting it above your head. Here is my wiring setup. So you see I got this resting down here. And then up here, your wiring, you are going to put your black and blue. 2 black and blue wires come up. Those go in with your black wire. All your ground wires go together. Again, there's a ground connected to here. So I got a ground wire in there, and then I got my 2 whites. So the last thing I'm going to do is wrap some electrical tape around all 3 of these. And I'm going to tuck these back up in here the best I can. I now have all of my wires tucked back up in there. This piece is in place. It comes down. So we're going to leave this piece off because right now what we have to do is, actually we could probably put this piece up in there. So this piece is going to go first. It's going to cap in there and twist on. And then we're going to lift the pull, or we're going to lift the bottom piece, and the pull is going to go right in here. And then we have a little peg to put through there to hold everything together. One more quick note is once you get these wires, or once you're ready to make this connection, these wires you're going to want to pull out and pull them off to the side here. So you could really kind of do it by lifting this piece out like this, and then pull all of these wires out. And then you're just going to wrap these right around here like this. So they leave you enough room here to wrap your wires in. So all that extra slack we have, if you don't cut them, wrap them right around there. And then we just put this big plate here up there and it conceals everything. So if you have extra wiring, you didn't cut anything, you're gonna wrap it right around this piece right here. Got everything secure up here. These 2 screws tighten in on this pull. You can see all my wires are tucked up underneath here. And then we secured this screw. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other one in. And then this is a good time just to test everything before you go the whole way. Some of you might test it a little earlier just to make sure all the power is working, but make sure you got everything kind of secured, because if not, this thing's gonna go wild. And it's gonna be off balance anyway, a little bit, just because it needs all of the fans on there to kind of make it work. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten everything down and then turn it on. So we got it up there. Let's just give it the turn on. All right, it's on, it's working. Let me try to show you how easily these go on. So just put these up, make sure you have the side down that you want. Line it up over those pegs. Ooh, there you go. And then just pull them. Pull it back and it snaps right into place. I need 2 hands. Right, should go. That's it. That's how you put them on. For the light part here, real easy. There's just 2 quick connects right here. So you got, it's actually blue, looks black, blue to black, and then white to white. So those just connect into each other, and then everything tucks in, and there's 3 screws. You can see there's one there. There's 3 screws that go in that hold this entire piece in. So for the last part here, a little cap comes off the bottom. Get your pan, stick this up here. Now, the only thing I really don't like about this design is this one drapes over the side. But I guess I could live with that for the price. This all goes up through here. It has a little thread on it. Go ahead and screw that in. You also want to make sure all your screws are tight, because if not, this thing's spinning at night, you're going to hear a little rattle or shake or some kind of noise. It's what you want to avoid. You don't want to have anything shaking that shouldn't be, so tightening everything down just ensures you don't have to worry about that. The last piece that we have here are the 2 little extenders for, almost fall off the ladder every time. So these 2 little extenders come down. I have little kids, so I want them to be able to reach, turn their light on, change their fan speed. So we got one there, one here. Those 2 come down. So I don't like that this pulls over the edge here. I mean, over years of doing that, you would think that you're gonna break something, but again, $70, can't really beat it. Let's go ahead and turn on the light here. Got our light, and then you have 3 different speeds on here as well. So I think that's high, low, really low, off, back up to high. Oh, I missed one. There we go. Back up to high. So this is the Hampton Bay, again, fan. It's the Rothley II model. Almost went up in there. Good fan, easy to install. Probably took me around 45 minutes to do everything. And this is my second one I've done, so I kind of knew what I was doing, put everything together. There also is a switch up over here. So if you want the fan to spin, right now it's blowing the wind straight down on me. If you hit that switch, it actually sucks the air up and pushes it off to the side. So it's just really dependent on where you're using the fan in your house and how you're using it. Good fan for the price. Again, if you wanted a little more with the finishes, a little heavier, you wanted glass here instead of this, you're going to spend a little bit more. These fans can go up to several $100s, all by Hampton Bay. So it's just depending on what you're looking for. So if you like this review, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.